Went live. I wasn't going to put the customers through that. So good morning and welcome to A-1 Vacuum and Sewing's very late live stream for Wednesday, February 26th. We just struggled for like 15 minutes to get Jeannie on Zoom.
I hate it. I hate technology. I love it. I hate it. I would be fine going back 50 years in time.
Part of me thinks it's because you're in the kitchen and where you're sitting has like there's a ton of latency right now, meaning
No, I went into the settings. I had to unclick some button, but I would have never have guessed that was a button I needed to unclick.
right. But what I'm saying is, I think your challenges on the cell phone was where you're sitting, because like literally where you're sitting is the worst reception in my house, and like
No, the challenge is me. Let's
well,
just be honest.
the challenge is partially you, but I think the challenge is also where you're seated. Like if you were
So
in like even your sewing room has better reception than where you are. Like literally the worst wireless reception in the house is right where you're sitting. So there's a ton of
good
latency. Like
morning.
everything is happening like 30
We can talk
seconds
about
after
this
I talk.
later, Patrick.
All right.
We can
So what do
talk
we
about it later.
so what do we have to talk about?
So we have a couple of things to talk about. Number one, I got an email yesterday from Kimberbell for the auto ship for the rope bowls. And so rope bowls is coming out on, I think it's March 5th. So if you're thinking about doing it, and I talked to Karen because Karen Bull is going to be doing the sew along for that, which we're all excited about. What would I do without Karen doing all those sew alongs? She said they're easier than the rope bowls before. I still to this day have not done a rope bowl. But I did bump up rope bowls and the rope if you need to get rope. And I was like, am I supposed to be doing a fabric kit? So yes, I'm putting together, we're going to be late to the game. We'll do our sew along for the rope bowls at the end of March to make sure everyone gets their stuff. I am just ordering the fabric right now because I think I was just out of it. I didn't even think, I think rope bowls and I think there's no fabric, but there's fabric on the bottom and then there's some fabric on the top. And so I will be putting together a fabric kit for that, but they will not be ready. I will not have the fabric until sometime next week. So we're probably 2 weeks out in shipping all that, but that's okay because the pattern's coming in shipped to us on like the 5th. So I think it'll all kind of fall in line. Laura, you ready to do rope bowl kits?
I don't even think Lori's here yet.
Okay, so we will have rope bowl kits, and so order your rope bowl now, and there will be a sew along.
So we were supposed to come in last night, and I ended up getting a lot done in the afternoon yesterday. So we did not come in last night. So we didn't pick out a giveaway. Can you think of anything for the giveaway, given that we haven't done it yet, or are we just pushing it off till tomorrow?
We'll give away a rope bowl set, including a fabric kit.
Okay.
We'll do the rope bowl CD, or it might be a digital download. I don't know. So we'll do the rope bowl with the embellishment kit, which is super cute. I think Lori, I'm sorry, Karen's gonna bring that in today, so we'll be able to show it tomorrow or this week sometime, and a fabric kit. So we'll do the whole kit and caboodle: fabric kit, design, embellishment kit. That's the giveaway. Can't even show it to you because we have none of it yet. You want to come in?
So Jeannie's working from home this afternoon, and will likely be in tomorrow. I'm trying to postpone her re-entry to normal life because she needs to take care of herself.
Yesterday I did do some recording, and I re-recorded March's wallflower design.
All Jeannie
Because I
keeps talking about is how much she loves her scan and cut now.
now I can't believe I love it. I never thought. So I cut out my applique pieces on my scan and cut for March. And then I did one video where I hand cut the way I normally do, which I really love hand cutting. But now I'm realizing, no, I don't.
Well, and I just had somebody reach out to me yesterday, like, Heather, if you're watching, I haven't forgotten about you. I just never got a chance to call you back. But somebody reached out yesterday essentially to be like, I can't cut because of what's going on with my hands anymore. And Jeannie's got like what, trigger thumb or something? Like Jeannie's got all kinds of issues now with her hands. And so I'm like, scan and cut, save your body.
Well, part of me always thought, like, am I saving time? Because you have to do some prep work, and like I was like, is this more? I'm always looking to be efficient, and I'm like, is this saving me more time? And when I did my video, I was like, my video is a lot shorter for the ones where I cut my scan and cut. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to prep everything in the beginning. Like, I think I'm still going to prep the way I've normally prepped. And then those pieces where I sort them and put them in piles for the shape flex, I'm going to put them in piles for the heat and bond light. And then I'm going to cut them as I go, because I just love how easy it is to, I don't even know how to use an SVG file. So I've just been doing it where you just send it. You hit the cut button on the color list and send it. And I was like,
send it.
Send it, yes. Not that kind of send it, Patrick.
Well, that's what send it means in your world.
My send it means send it from my machine straight to the scan and cut. Your send it is like go big, which I don't know how to do that. So, yeah, I'm super.
Jeannie's like, I'm going to go big and ski from the top of the mountain. And she's like, I'm going to die. You better carry me.
Which I think is really funny. Kai sent me pictures of Patrick carrying Violet. Patrick forgot Violet's skis one day when they went to the resort. So he gave her a piggyback and skied, and that's what he wanted me to do.
And but she wouldn't do it. Like, it was so easy. It was so fast.
But I thought you wanted me to get on your back with my skis on.
I'm just going to leave that one right there.
That's what I thought you wanted me to do. And I was like, no way. How am I going to get on your back with my skis on?
Oh my God. You are one silly girl. So
we did not discuss it thoroughly.
So no, I was pretty clear, but your skis were already off. You were walking down the mountain. I feel like we deal with customers that are like that too. Like Jeannie got off the chairlift when we were in Japan and immediately like made these like beautiful turns down this whole thing. And then something changed like in the slope. And all of a sudden she's like, I don't know how to turn. And I'm like, you just made like 9 turns. And she's like, no, don't know how to turn. So that anyways.
It's called fear. Fear makes you forget everything.
So yes, I can ship the 300DX. We can't sell it online, but it is shippable. And with our bundle, it just makes the most sense. Like I have a buddy who is in the industry who's like, I don't understand why you sell those things for the price at which you sell them. And I'm like, I'd rather people just have the best machine, and I'll just sell a lot more of them, which is kind of how it works out for us. So, so yeah. Anyways, the
Well, you know what? The other thing that was so fantastic when I was in my sewing room yesterday that I was thinking about is that integration it's kind of like having a party, and you have all of your brother machines at your party, and you can send everything to, like, I was doing digital design database transfer, and then I was doing scan and cut, and it really, like, and once you get it hooked up, because again, I struggle with technology. Spent a whole day trying to just get things on the network, but once everything was on the network, so if you struggle like I do, I totally feel for you. But once everything was set up, it is set up, and you're on the network, it just like pops up. It's like, that's on the network, that's on the network. I can send it from here to here. I can send it from here to here. So I think that's like really important for you to think about if you're thinking about getting machines, getting scan and cut, getting these things, having the tools where you can just send everything. And some of you might never want to do any of that. That was me. I was like, I am never doing any of that. I love my USB. I'm going to use my USB forever. I haven't even been using my USBs.
I was floored when you started using design database transfer. I was like, Jeannie's a holdout. I was like, it's so easy. Like, so, I always tell folks that, like, the common thing that I hear from folks when they're in the store is like, I'll make the comment that, like, you could put my son in front of one of these machines and he'd figure it out. And the argument from customers is, well, that's because he's young and he grew up with computers. And I disagree with that. It's not because he's young and he grew up with computers. It's because he's not afraid to push the buttons. And a lot of times people are just afraid to push the button. Not like pushing a button is not going to break anything. And you see people, I mean, like, Jeannie's funny because she'll hear me on a call and I'm like, you need to push the button. Have you pushed the button? Like, and the customer's arguing with me about why they can't push the button. And I'm like, I need you to push the button. Just push it. Like, you can't be afraid to push the buttons,
Sometimes we do get trigger happy though, Patrick.
Well, I mean, there's a difference there. There's a difference there.
Like, just keep pushing the buttons like that. And sometimes you need to calm your roll. And you need to,
I would say people in general just need to calm their roll, but that's it's as I was saying, it's not that folks can't figure it out, it's they're afraid to try. Because it's not rocket science. It really isn't. Jeannie could do it, and that's not an insult to Jeannie's intelligence, but Jeannie was incredibly resistant to it. Yeah, Jeannie was incredibly resistant. And, for you, the thing that I imagine is just sending those things and having the machine cut it. I imagine you're doing other things while the machine is cutting.
Well, this is what, in my mind, what I thought I was going to do in the class was I would send it to the machine, let it start cutting, and then I would start the embroidery. We would lay down our batting, our background piece, do the quilting. But you know what happened? It was so fast. Like, I sent it to the machine and it cut. And then it was so fast and I hadn't even started the embroidery design and it was just sitting there ready to go. So, no, I'm not doing other things because once it cuts, it's so fast. And I've always joked about how someday I'll be a scan and cut expert. I don't think I'll ever be a scan and cut expert, but what I'm going to be an expert at is just those applique pieces, sending in the machine and just having it cut the applique pieces. So now I'm imagining, oh, maybe I could the Lori Holt quilt, and I could just send pieces. Yeah, those are the kind of things that I imagine that I'll be an expert in. I'm an expert in just enough to do the project I want to do. That's just enough. That's my expertise level. I don't need to learn it all.
So
That's why we have Michelle.
so so I am trying to pull up for our giveaway. Do we have much more to talk about today?
I don't think so. Karen's going to be doing Michelle's doing I think PS 500, PS 700. That would be a Presto and a Brilliant. Is it Catherine? What is it now? What's the
Presto and the
PS700?
Brilliant.
Yeah, so she's doing that class, and then Karen's going to be doing she's going to be doing the Lori Holt class tomorrow, and then I'm doing Hopping Down the Bunny Trail traditional way on Friday. It'll be our first class. I'll send out a supply list. I don't even know if I'm sending a supply list, or I'll send you an email tonight going over what we're going to start. We're going to start with the very first block, but we're starting with part A. I think there's 2 parts per days. I have to look at it again. And we're going to start with that so it's ready for us to start stitching everything else. But I will this morning look at that and send you something out. And yeah, and right now we don't have any of the kits with the green backing, but we have plenty of kits with all of the other backings. We're subbing in backings. So get your kit ordered because it's really cute. And it'll be a live feed on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about it disappearing someday.
So can you show March the March quilt yet? No? Okay.
You know why, Patrick?
Because you haven't done it yet?
No, I did it. I did 3 of them. I didn't because it's still February. It's a mystery.
Yeah, so you can't show it until March 1st.
It's a surprise. Don't ruin the surprise. I hope other dealers aren't ruining the surprise for you.
So, and then when is the next quilt talk?
Oh, Quilt Talk. So Quilt Talk is happening on I think it's happening on the 12th. Am I wrong? Yeah, it's happening on March 12th. This is the topic is going to be quilt hangers and hanging sleeves. So I think a lot of people, if you're like me, you don't know what to do. So I do nothing, and then I put binder clips up and hang it up. Or I rely on a quilt hanger that has some kind of pinchy thing that holds it. So it's going to be a discussion about hanging sleeves as well as some demo. So, and I'm interested in that because I saw somebody that came in the other day and they had the triangles in the corner and then one where you would kind of slip a tube through in the middle. And the corner thing, I was like, oh, that's so easy to kind of sew it in. So if you don't know how to finish up your quilt, when you put your binding on, this class will be for you, or this Quilt Talk. And it's going to be Michelle and Gail. And then the one they're doing afterwards is going to be about judging. And I know we and Rena, we have our quilt show coming up in June. So if you're interested in entering something, it'll be really informational. I think Gail judged for years, so she's going to be talking about the things that they look for in a quilt. So yeah, Quilt Talk is coming up.
So, anything else that we need to talk about today before we do our giveaway?
I don't giveaway question was, where do you get your fabric? And a lot of people like getting their fabric from local quilt shops. I think people really like to touch, feel, see. I don't know if you're like me. Do you guys remember fabric.com? And they were so awesome. But there were some times when I bought fabric from them where it showed up and I was like, wow, that print's really big, where I thought it was something small and I didn't look at the inches and the scale. So people like to really come in, touch, feel, and buy their fabric. A lot of people go to local quilt shops. A lot of people go to places like Joann's, Hobby Lobby.
Well,
If you're
that
here in
news
Reno,
was
we have
all over
Millen.
the place
What?
yesterday. The whole Joann's news about Joann's basically closing were all over the place yesterday.
Is it really just closing? It's gonna
Done.
be gone?
They declared a second bankruptcy and nobody's pulling them out. It's a weird time. I mean,
Wow.
I've referenced it. It's a weird time in every industry, consumer-based industry, because companies really struggled to maintain supplies through the pandemic, and then a lot of companies basically bought like it was still 2021 and 2022 as we were exiting kind of pandemic type rules, and ended up completely overstocked. And they have just never recovered, and that's across the board. I think we've heard about a lot of local quilt shops closing. We've heard about big quilt shops closing. Some of the largest stores in the country closed. So it's just it's a bizarre time in the sewing and quilting industry right now. Tammy, you can call us at the store at 775 852 2323, and I can certainly help you with that. Yeah, once again, it's 775 852 2323. Let's do the giveaway, just because I haven't moved any of the furniture yet. And I need to move the furniture because it's all over the place right now.
One of the things that he got was there's Miss Graydon, one of the new tabletops for the Avenir. And we're going to put that on. Patrick?
Yeah, we'll do that probably sometime over the weekend.
Okay.
And then I've got to do a bunch of deliveries. There's so much product in here that needs to be delivered and gotten out. So, I think the beauty of the internet was that, I started saying to our manufacturers a couple years ago that the world is flat. And what I meant by that was now people have choice. Some people love their local quilt shops. Some people felt like they were held hostage by their local quilt shops because that was all you had. And now, you exist in this world where you have a choice over who you support and where you do business. And, there's national information about what people are paying for their machines, what they're getting with their machines, stuff like that. And I think that's great from a consumer choice standpoint. It hasn't been something that they're kind of winners and losers in that space, and the folks that didn't adapt quickly didn't do well with that transition. And so folks are commenting that they've lost their local quilt shops. There's no question. We've also seen some really big quilt shops start to buy up other quilt shops and then find out that model didn't work, and now they're closing the quilt shops that they bought. So it's just a weird time in the space, and it'll normalize at some point. But I think we're in for buckle up. We're in for an interesting couple of years as as the space figures out. Lady Fair says, I've read that only 3% of the population sews. It's funny because the industry talks about only 1%. So, I don't know accuracy of either of those. And, I think, Gail says what it really boils down to is customer service. We talk about, it's paying attention to your customers, and we try to do that, but it can be exhausting. Debbie Takashima says, please be nice to Joanne employees. I couldn't agree more. I'm sure it's a tough time for a lot of those folks that worked at Joanne. So, I don't, it is
just being nice to people
everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, there are times where Patrick and I go, this is
what
not
the hell are we doing here?
There are times, we're just selling sewing machines and vacuums and fabric and bags. And
I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of vacuum bag you have. I didn't realize that was my responsibility.
It can be tough, and so just be kind in general I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, I always say like the people that deliver our stuff, like the truck drivers, like all those guys, like we couldn't do it without any of them. And oh my goodness, that's not good for your recovery.
I know, but this is what I do.
Shove her off of you and that won't happen anymore. Yeah, exactly. Those poor folks are losing their jobs. So let's run our giveaway. So we're giving away a full Rope Bowls kit.
Channel your inner winner. Channel your inner winner. And they have to answer the question. So they have to have told us where they like to buy their fabric.
Hang on one second. This is weird. There we go.
So I'm watching this, so they don't see it. I always thought they saw the name.
They see it. You're watching Zoom, not the live stream.
Got it.
So Patricia Bennett says, A-1 if Jeannie, if not in stock, she orders it for me. The best shop ever.
Yay!
Will you make a note of that, Jeannie?
Yeah, I just put it down on my thing. So Miss Patricia Bennett, you get the Rope Bowl design, embellishment kit, and fabric kit, which I'm putting together right now. So you win the whole thing, and I hope you'll make it with us. We'll set up that sew along at the end of the month.
So Jeannie is not in the store until tomorrow. I think things will be pretty much back to normal. There's some potential that I'm out of the store one day next week to do a delivery. Like we ended up with, I have some stuff that needs to be delivered, and I was just going to send one guy, but I think it's too much for one guy. So I need to kind of figure that out. Then my kids are home for spring break, and there may be some potential that I take a day or two off early in the week, that first full week of March. Is that the first full week of March? No, it's the second full week of March. And then I'm going to try to force Jeannie to take that at least that Friday off, because my kids are coming home. Maybe she'll work from home Friday and Saturday or Thursday, Friday, so she can spend some time with the kids. So, but I think things are kind of getting back to normal, or at least I'm hopeful.
Patrick and I are done with our surgery for 2025.
I hope we're done with our surgeries for 2025. I'm still telling folks, like, yeah, life will go back to normal in April because now we get to dig out from the last several weeks. So but yeah, so that's kind of the plan over the next couple of weeks. I think the guys have remained, I think they're actually within 2 weeks right now, but we're telling people 2 weeks. Yesterday seemed like it was particularly productive in the service department. So I don't think there's anything else to talk about at the store. Do you have any last minute items, Jeannie, before we move on? We're sorry we were late today.
Yeah, I'm going to go do some filming. I've got a couple of things that I'm going to film, and other than that, and we've got some exciting classes that are going to be coming up. I'm waiting for some fabric, but I was just trying to plan out some more Janine Babbage, and then of course the Kimberbell stuff that we're going to be doing. So we'll share that with you. And I think Michelle has a couple of classes. If you're waiting for the single needle, the Shamrock class with the foam in it, that should be coming, I think, I'm hoping today, if not tomorrow. So I haven't missed you guys. Michelle's just finishing up that class. So anything else you can think of, Patrick?
I don't think so.
All right, let's get to work. We've got stuff to do.
All right.